Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we will be talking about A Gift and a Curse by Gunna. Now, again, this album came out a month or two ago. It's been around for a minute. An album that was pretty critically panned, another Gunna album, so not much praise for it on the internet. And me personally, I'm not a Gunna fan at all. Some may describe me as a Gunna hater. He has his tracks. We all know he has bangers sometimes. He's great on features, but as an album artist, Gunna does not have it like that. I will talk about that more in my Gunna Rapper Report card, which will be out next week. But for now, let's talk about A Gift and a Curse. Bread and Butter came out a week before the album dropped. That was the lead single, and for me, it was an underwhelming single. This is where we see some of Gunna's most potent content lyrically, revolving everything with him snitching regarding the YSL Rico case being locked up. But as many may have expected, it is mostly surface level noise. He does bring these topics up, but never really saying too much or getting too specific or personal about it. And that is a theme that carries this album, because Gunna did have the potential to come through and talk a lot of real shit here, given the situation he was just in, given how the internet is reacting to him now with him being a snitch, allegedly. He could be a snitch all he wants. If Gunna made good music, I would bump it. I don't live by the street code. I don't really give a fuck. But unfortunately, makes bad music. Gunna kicks the album off with some intense and passionate verses on the track Back At It, which has an electric guitar-led instrumental that doesn't have any drums. It causes all of Gunna's rapping on this track to feel like a gradual build-up, which the tension releases at the following track, Back to the Moon, when those drums finally come in. Now, Back to the Moon also incorporates some electric guitars similar to that of Back At It, but the rest of the instrumental is pretty bland and standard Gunna, which you will hear me say a lot throughout this review. I mean, Gunna really has a couple of type of beats that he cycles through. You guys know what I'm talking about, and that doesn't change here. The only real difference is that the beats are actually less interesting than when compared to an album like Wanna, which had a lot of very lively and exciting instrumentals. Everything here is a lot more dull and gray. But yeah, overall, Back to the Moon and Back At It as well do feature some of Gunna's better rapping performances on this album. Again, it's Gunna, it's nothing crazy. This isn't like a J. Cole feature level type thing. It's just this is where he is shining the most on the album as a rapper. The following, IDK No More and Payback, are two of the most generic, soulless, bland songs Gunna has to offer, not only on this album, but in his catalog. Because yes, Gunna does make bad music, but a lot of his music is more so just bad because I've heard it 100 times and not bad because it's downright trash. Gunna is just one of the least versatile rappers around, very heavy on the copy and paste formula. Now, Cash Shit is an interesting song. It's one of the more solid tracks on the album. Not anything I'm gonna revisit anytime soon, but it is inoffensive. And here we get some more solid rapping and flowing from Gunna, as we could expect. But we do get a notably trashy chorus here, which goes as, run up them racks like I wanna, count up them bands with gun wanna, which, first of all, gun wanna is a crazy thing to refer to yourself as. That sounds terrible. Wanna, as it was a very stupid nickname for Gunna to coin to himself. And now we got this, which this chorus does kind of take the wind out of the sails of this song, because it's so bad you kind of just got to stop and stare for a second and just really take in what Gunna's saying, the absolute utter drivel that is coming out of his mouth here. I will say the chorus itself is actually pretty catchy. It's just like lyrically, from a songwriting perspective, it's really, really bad. Bro literally rhymed a wanna and gun wanna. Moving on, we got the biggest hit on this album, Fuck You Mean. Now, before I actually talk about the song, I want to talk about how much of a, not even a TikTok generated hit, this is a very apparent case of Spotify and Apple Music inflating streams for the labels. Because I mean, Fuck You Mean was huge this summer, but I never heard that song nowhere. I never seen a single person bump that. And it was getting boosted by the algorithm all summer. I don't know if you guys had this experience, but anytime I listen to an album, it could be any album, you know how you finish the album on Spotify and then you get playing from X radio, it could be whatever. and the first song to play would be Fuck You Mean. But anyways, this is the best track on the album. It's not anything crazy, but as a huge hit from the record, it does its job well. It's pretty entertaining. Not my favorite track again, but all the elements are here for a banger. Gunna was utilizing some catchy vocal tracks like the kids saying "fuck you mean" or that hypnotic "yeah" that runs throughout the course of the instrumental. They all keep you locked into the beat. And the beat itself is pretty menacing, one of the more heavier, more intense instrumentals on the album, with these dark piano keys littered throughout, and it complements Gunna's simple and concise flow super well, again making this the most entertaining, the easiest song to listen to from this record. Moving on, we get a perfect transition from Fuck You Mean into Rodeo Drive, which is a more uplifting trap cut with some nice tranquil synths in the back. This is definitely a more relaxed song. Gunna reuses the stop and go flow he was utilizing on Fuck You Mean that did make it so catchy. But because of that, this is again another one of the stronger tracks on the album. Not one of the best. I keep describing tracks as being stronger ones on the album, but it's not. It's because I don't talk about songs that aren't egregiously shit or actually enjoyable. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just bring a bunch of mid tracks in and be like, oh, this track was mid. Oh, this track was mid too. You guys will see with the Pink Tape review. I mean, I'm not talking about more than half the songs on that, but yeah, because if I was gonna talk about every track, half of this record would be, this is another boring, bland, generic Gunna song. This is another boring, bland, generic Gunna song. Go Crazy is a highlight writing-wise, where this is what I would say the most personal track on the album. We see Gunna rapping about a lot of things that give him anxiety and things that he struggled through in his youth and how they're making him go crazy. He's talking about the situation with Thug a little bit. He's talking about being locked up, how the media is perceiving him, and how it's all making him go crazy. Now, of course, since Gunna's talking some real shit here, he sings a terrible, grating chorus and has one of the blander beats on the album, making this honestly one of the worst tracks. But I did gotta give Gunna some credit for some good songwriting, some good rapping here. I Was Just Thinking is another track that features some terrible singing performances from Gunna. He is a rapper that I don't really think should be singing, similar to Lil Durk, but both of them still do it a lot. Overall though, A Gift and a Curse honestly felt like a really skeletal album, really devoid of personality. I don't know if it was rushed out in time so they could capitalize on the hype of Gunna's release, if he's been sitting on this for a while. I don't know what the deal is with that, but this does feel devoid of Gunna's personality, to be honest. This is very, even for Gunna, because Gunna's not a very animated rapper, but this really felt like it had the life sucked out of it with a big ass vacuum. Yeah, I mean, there's no songs I'm really gonna be revisiting here, and there's not many songs that were downright egregious trash. It's just a lot of rinse and repeat Gunna. The production, super big letdown for me. Gunna usually does have some solid beats, but again, very gray, very drab instrumental palette. This track list is missing the eccentric instrumentals like One Watch on Wanna. All these beats here sound the same to me. And yes, throughout the album we do see bits and flashes of more mature writing from Gunna, a Gunna who's willing to be more vulnerable, but for the most part it's the same guy who, for probably half of the lyrics on this album, is rapping about designer clothes, rapping about having relations with women, and rapping about doing drugs. It's a Gunna album, and he didn't switch it up too much here. This is pretty standard, clocking in, getting the job done, and for those reasons, I will be giving A Gift and a Curse a 4.8 out of 10. But yeah, guys, be sure to let me know what you think of this project in the comments. I know, and at least the major hip-hop space, this album has been dead for a while. Commercial-wise, it's going pretty crazy, I guess, because Fuck You Mean's a big radio hit, but overall, no one's really jacking this album still, I don't think. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, put notifications on, all that good stuff. It really helps me a lot, guys. Appreciate you guys watching, tapping in, and I'll see you in the next one. But until then, peace!